500 Pro Series drag racing, top Doorslammer is about as tough as it gets. Think about it, sometimes more than 20 entries trying to vie just for an 8-car field. And lately, even when we move to eliminations, the racing's been tough, intense, and more than just a little bit crazy.
With drivers producing some scorching elapsed time passes down the quarter mile, some teams are starting to think of other ways to unsettle their quick rivals come final eliminations racing. And one way is to change your start line strategy. By delaying your race start with your rival in final pre-stage preparations, you may mentally unsettle your rival and gain a reaction time advantage off the start line.
Also, there can be a mechanical consequence when you have a 3,500 horsepower top Doorslammer left hanging on the start line at high engine RPM. And it's this factor in particular which causes a lot of discussion amongst the various Doorslammer racers. You'll often see too the racers, the drivers, grabbing the handbrake as the engine's up on high RPM, wrestling the car if they're being held out, trying to stop the car from red lighting.
So what happens to a Doorslammer car when it's hung out to dry? And why do racers get ruffled by it like we saw between Ben Bray and John Zappia last season? He's in a full stage. Waiting on Zappia. John Zappia's playing the game now. So what can you do to minimise the issues if you're being hung out to dry on the start line?
From the odding, the pre-start manoeuvres is the best thing I could do. The guy has run circles around me, he's been able to go past me. Yes, we've had some fast runs, but what if we don't? So I said to the guys, we set up the clutch with a heap of air gap, and and that just gives you the ability to sit at the start line for up to 20 seconds.
So what is the air gap? The air gap applies in all disc clutch systems, and in Doorslammer it's a collective air gap between the pressure plate and the friction plates as well in a clutch pack in a Doorslammer. They can adjust that and zero it off using the gauge in the car. And of course what they want to do is make sure they find that right balance in terms of air gap. If there's not enough air gap, when they're in a holdout situation, the car will try to creep forward through the start line. Why? Because there's extra heat in the clutch and it's compressing and the air is being removed. If you have too much air spacing in the clutch pack, then the car is very slow to get off the start line and can have problems in getting away cleanly down the quarter mile.
Waiting on Bishop. Bishop hanging him out to dry a little bit. Oh, nervy. The stopwatch is clicking. This can affect the balance. So some teams who are thinking a lengthy start line process is likely in the race can add more gap between the clutch discs to hopefully outwit their rival and win the race. Because fundamentally, that is what drag racing is all about.